How's it going, everyone? Got quite a lot to cover in this video, including some major updates on JRPGs, a big free update coming to a more notable JRPG that I am personally recommending in the DioField Chronicle. Granblue Fantasy looks to be getting an update here very soon. Granblue Fantasy Relink is going to be playable here very shortly at the Fan Festival, so we'll talk about that. And a major PC title could be making its way on over to PlayStation 5. We'll talk that at the end of this video, but first let's talk the JRPG updates. The DioField Chronicle, a game that saw a relatively mixed reception. I honestly really enjoyed it. We'll be getting a major free update launching in March of 2023, and this is a very notable update because it's adding a lot of stuff. So let's go through all of it, but before we do that, I do want to note that the DioField Chronicle is on sale right now in the PlayStation Store for $40.19. Your mileage may vary, but I think that's a pretty good price for a game that just came out 3 months ago. Actually has been a little bit under 3 months. I think it's been just over 2 months. It came out in September, so yeah, the timeline would work out there. And the game itself, I think, is pretty good. But with this new update, it's going to get even better. You're going to get a new scenario. New scenario not told in the main story, starring Waltequin Redditch. In this scenario, playable after clearing Chapter 5, you'll make your way through missions while controlling Waltequin. Behemoth will appear as the final boss. On top of that, you've got a new weapon in Grimoire. In the newly added scenario, you'll be able to equip Waltequin's dedicated weapon Grimoire, which can use skills to summon units and morph into other forms. New skills include the new skill Necromancy, can be used to summon a Skull Knight. The new skill Necrotim can be used to transform your units into a Skull Dragon to unleash powerful skills. Also being added, High Difficulty Extra Mode, a mode in which high-level enemies appear from Chapter 1. This will be added as a function of New Game Plus, which allows you to carry over your levels, weapons, and skill trees after clearing the main story. And then you have a new difficulty level in Very Hard. The Very Hard difficulty level offers more challenging battles with less fragment drops, reduced enemy skill frequency and cooldowns, a limited revival time, and HP recovery, and so on. Now, I feel like that was one of the critiques of the DioField Chronicle, that even on the hardest difficulty, people weren't finding the game to be that challenging. And yeah, for somebody like me that's not big into tactics RPGs, DioField Chronicle was incredibly straightforward and relatively easy for me to get through. I found the story incredibly compelling. I know a lot of people did find it hard to follow with all like the political warring factions going on, and then a lot of the story being told through this like storybook style sequence where it's just narration and you don't have these like major cutscenes. You do have cutscenes, don't get it twisted, but a lot of the story is told through these sequences of more of like a storybook narration style video. But nonetheless, it is a game that I enjoyed. If you're a fan of strategy RPGs, give it a look. It's got a really good soundtrack, strong cast of characters in my opinion, a decent cast of characters, and I was very satisfied with the ending of this game as well. I thought the ending was executed really well. That's my personal opinion. I just thought it all came together pretty nicely, but yeah, the game definitely has its issues. The narrative, again, is kind of hard to follow. The gameplay for a lot of people was relatively easy, and it's not like this was a super big budget title. It's not blow away by any stretch of the imagination on PlayStation 5. I mean, it got ported down to the Nintendo Switch, so technically it was only going to be at a certain level, but nonetheless, did want to give that a shout, and this is a major free update that hopefully will be making the game even better. Alright, moving on from that, and speaking of JRPGs, a major JRPG that a lot of people have been waiting on to hear more from is Granblue Fantasy Project Relink, and now we know that Granblue Fantasy Festival 2022 and 2023, the stage has been confirmed. It will be happening on January 20th until January 22nd, but one of the big notable things is Granblue Fantasy Relink will be playable by the public for the first time ever at this event. I think a lot of us expected Granblue Fantasy Relink to drop sometime this year. Unfortunately, that ultimately did not come to fruition, but the game is scheduled for a release in 2023 for PC, PS4, and PlayStation 5, and hopefully the game is finalizing development because this has been a long time coming. I want to say that I initially started talking about this game in like 2017 or 2018. It's been like a long time coming, and people really dug the look of the game, the presentation style. Initially, Platinum Games was working on the title alongside Cygames, and it was gonna be a collaboration, but then Platinum Games moved on. Side Games have been working on the game on their own, and the game, on top of its single-player gameplay, it does also include four-person cooperative multiplayer or single play with 3 AI. The official title, again, Granblue Fantasy Relink. I'm not a big Granblue fan, but the fighting game was pretty good, and this one, from a visual standpoint, I think just looks fantastic, and it's a game that can really popularize Granblue over here stateside, and I think it's going to do pretty well. I think, based on the buzz that I kind of am feeling from my audience, I feel like that's going to resonate with a larger audience as well. I'm not saying it's going to be among the top JRPG franchises in the world, or it's even going to be at the level of like a Persona or something, but if it's a quality game, I think the art style is already going to draw a lot of people in. I think the visual aesthetics is going to draw people in, and from a gameplay standpoint, it looks fairly decent as well. We're just hoping it makes some smooth progression on top of that, but we'll see how that ultimately turns out. Again, the game's scheduled for a release sometime in 2023, but it will be playable come January over at the Fan Festival. Lastly, I do want to note, Company of Heroes 3 has been rated for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series in Taiwan. The Taiwan Digital Game Rating Committee has rated Company of Heroes 3 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series alongside its previously planned PC release. Currently, the game has only seen a confirmation for a PC release, Company of Heroes 2, of course, available on PC. That was actually one of the very few real-time strategy games that I got into and I put quite a few hours into, and now we have the newest package. The legendary strategy franchise back, Company of Heroes 3 is the ultimate package of action, tactics, and strategy. Take charge in the heat of real-time battles, then command as a general, guiding the overall campaign where every decision matters. Overwhelm your opponents with new and familiar factions, units, and international battle groups, command group, air, and naval forces, and build supply lines to crush enemy advances. On the new dynamic campaign map, no two playthroughs are ever alike. Play at your own pace across campaign and skirmish modes before diving into blistering multiplayer action. Discover the untold stories of a stunning Mediterranean theater featuring next-generation destructible environments, all powered by Relic's proprietary Essence engine. Again, a game like this is always going to be more so associated with PC and keyboard and mouse controls, but we've seen games like XCOM make a smooth transition, at least somewhat of a smooth transition to PlayStation 4. Had some performance issues, so a game like Company of Heroes I could see doing fairly well, and we've had games like City Skylines, Frostpunk, etc., etc. Obviously games of different styles, but games that I would say are more associated with playing with a keyboard and mouse or just on PC in general, and hopefully Company of Heroes 3 drops on PS5, turns out pretty well, and it should be a next-gen exclusive, so we'll see how it ultimately turns out, but that's a pretty notable title that could be headed its way on over to PlayStation 5. But that is going to do it for me. Again, if you're interested in the DioField Chronicle, you can pick it up now, $40.19, or you could wait for the March update to roll out, and by that time, honestly, you might be able to get the game for $20, $25, and you'll get a better product, and you'll get, you know, all these new features and whatnot. So that is something to note, but the game is available right now pretty much on every platform. Granblue Fantasy Relink will be playable soon over at the Fan Festival. Hopefully that means we'll hear some more official confirmation as far as a release date here very shortly, but it is scheduled for a 2023 release window, and Company of Heroes 3 could be headed its way over to PlayStation 5. Currently only confirmed for PC, but you guys know the deal with ratings board. More often than not, they are on the money, and it ultimately does come to fruition. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.